right. Just lost Aaron, but he should come back in a second. We are going live for day 2 of the challenge. Hang tight, everybody. We're connecting on all platforms. We are going to be on Facebook Live, Facebook Group Live, LinkedIn, YouTube, Zoom, you name it. We're connecting to it. Let's get this party started. Give me just a second. Connect everybody that's joining in on Zoom as well.
Recording in progress.
All right, we're getting set. We're getting ready. Let's connect this over here.
All right.
There we go. We got Aaron back online. All right, we got a bunch of people joining in on Zoom. We got a bunch of people live. Welcome, Chris.
Right.
Welcome, Dawn. Welcome, Elaine. Fred. Fred is back. Giselle, Kennedy, Mary, Penny is back. A couple people that were here yesterday came back today. I'm excited. This is day 2 of the challenge, Real Influencer Challenge. We have Aaron Keith with us today, as well as Ivan Estrada joining us shortly. Aaron Keith, how you doing today? Are you excited?
Good, buddy. I'm so excited.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me put these side by side for us. And we'll just wait for some more people to join. We got another 3 minutes till 12. We're a little early. In the meanwhile,
Right.
we can chit chat a little bit about marketing. So Aaron, is this your first time on a 5-day challenge? Have you been on?
Yeah,
this
it
before?
is. I've been wanting to do one of these for a long time.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking.
We've been talking about this. I think this is so great. So much information. And just given the way the market's going right now, this is the thing that we should all be focusing on right now. Like, this is the focus of our business for 2023.
Absolutely. And I think, Aaron, you work already with so many influencers. You're going to have a lot of insight into the marketing plan, brand pillars, branding. We're going to have Ivan coming on later talking about video marketing.
That's
Ivan
right.
and Aaron work together. Aaron, I think you're a business coach for Ivan?
Yeah, I've been Ivan's business coach, I think, for almost 10 years.
Awesome. So you all are getting it firsthand. I mean, Aaron is my business coach, our company's business coach. He's Ivan's business coach. He's coached multiple top producers in the industry, not only top producers, but he's coached management. He's coached management teams, entire corporations, entire brokerages. He's been around for quite a while. He's a very young entrepreneur.
We like to think so.
Yes. And he's completely revolutionized our business. So get ready for this. This is going to be a wild ride on marketing. I'm waiting for some more people to join. We got another 2 minutes to go. We're also going to be giving away some major prizes today. One of these prizes is actually a strategy session with Aaron, where you actually get to hop on a call with Aaron one-on-one. That's really what got me going with Aaron. Once I spoke to him for even 10 minutes, it was like light bulb, light bulb, light bulb. And then the best part about Aaron is that he's not just giving you ideas or telling you to take action. He's actually having you do the work. And I remember our very first conversation where Aaron said, all right, submit your budget. I submitted the budget and he goes, put some integrity into this spreadsheet. This thing is a mess. And he really called me out on it. And a lot of coaches, they might just pat you on the back and say, great job, good job. You're such a go-getter. Aaron's like, yeah, I get that you're a go-getter, but come on, Alex. We got to really
need to do a finance session one of these days. We need to add finance into here sometime.
Exactly. Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's a huge part of the business.
It really is.
It's like when you do exercise and you don't look at what you're eating,
Yep.
All right. So got people joining in here. We got this. We are going
everybody. We want questions today. This is for you. Okay. This time is for you. We want to be, make this as valuable as we possibly can for you. So please, as we're talking today, throw some questions into the chat. Alex and I will be fielding them throughout different intervals of the chat today. And I really want to make sure that we're hitting your questions.
Absolutely. And I'm going to be receiving questions on chat and on StreamYard.
Okay.
Had some pretty cool comment here from somebody. Let me just see if I can find it real quick. I don't know, something like roses are red, violets are blue. You are an influencer and I am too. Happy Valentine's Day. Let's
trademark that, somebody. That's
all right. How's everybody's audio? They're saying, Aaron, your audio is not great. So let me, it's not on your end, it's on the Zoom. So let me just do another share screen here and optimize this audio,
How about
optimize for
this?
video. All right, perfect. Giselle and Penny, let me know, is Aaron's audio good now? Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Any better? Any better?
No better. Interesting.
Okay.
Let's see what else I can do here about the audio.
I can try sitting a little closer as well. See if that helps pick it up.
Yep, and let me just connect over here. There's an echo. Try one more time, Aaron. Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Still get an echo, Giselle and Penny? Good for Sheila. Sounds fine on YouTube.
Okay.
Steve says yes. Giselle says no. Giselle, you could try joining on StreamYard. It might make a difference. It seems like some people are okay. It might be your audio. Sheila's on a web browser. I've got everything enabled right now, so there's not much else I can do on the audio side. So I think we're going to run with it.
Okay.
All right. So welcome to day 2 of the Influencer Challenge. This is the day all about branding and marketing. Yesterday, we talked about mindset. Definitely watch the replay. It's in the Facebook group. We talked about mindset, like the influence of a mindset. What kind of things you have to give up as far as like, I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be good on video. I can't do this. It's too difficult, Alex. This is uncomfortable, Alex. You know, really taking it on and reversing that entire script and just saying, yeah, it's uncomfortable and I'm going to do it. Right. And I am an influencer already. What I want to share with you all is that you're all influencers. Like you have a community that you're influencing decisions for people's lives on their biggest asset. So you're already an influencer, whether you have 1 million followers, you know, or 5 million followers like Grant Cardone, or millions of followers like Ryan Serhan. It doesn't matter how big it is. It's about your influence over your people. Maybe your people is just like, you know, some farmland in Idaho. That's okay. I have a client, Chad, who like, that's his people. Right? But you're influencing those people. So how big is your scope? Well, it varies for everybody, but you are all influencers. I want you to take that on as you go through this challenge. Today, we're going to get into branding, marketing, video. We have Aaron Keith. We have Ivan Estrada. We got Katarina manning the chat. We have Gabriel on the chat as well. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen here. Boom, share screen. And here we go for day 2.
All right.
So your hosts, Alex Montalenti, Katarina Bomar. A little bit about me, my background. My mom is a retired realtor. She's been in real estate. She was in real estate all her life, pretty much, since she came from Romania. She started with nothing in Long Island, in Queens, New York, moved to Long Island, got into residential real estate, finally made enough money to put a down payment on the property you're seeing in the background. But that did not come easy for her. She's a super entrepreneur, literally came from Romania with $0, got into real estate, built her entire career, and retired off of real estate. And in 1999, I saw her struggling with technology, struggling with the internet. I came home from college. I started helping her with digital marketing. She landed a huge deal, $80,000 commission check. And I'm like, damn, real estate, there's a lot of money in real estate. But a lot of realtors don't get technology, and it's understandable because that's not the business they signed up for. They signed up for the relationship business, right? So we started helping realtors with all of that, and that's how I've been in the industry ever since. It's been my dream to put together a challenge like this, bringing the top industry professionals, and I'm going to share with you one of the biggest secrets to me being an influencer. I went out and interviewed the influencers. I went out and created a podcast and just started interviewing some of the top industry professionals and just connecting it with them on Instagram, connecting with them on Facebook, DMing them, and asking them to be a guest on my show. And what that did, I got interviews with the top 50 industry professionals, the president of the National Association of Realtors, right? The #1 RE/MAX team in the world, the #1 agent in California, all of these top people got on for an hour with me, and that set me up for success. That set me up to be in the circle with industry professionals, with influencers. And I bring that to all of you because that's just one of the many marketing channels is a podcast. But if you can start doing live interviews with people that are industry professionals, you're immediately creating credibility for yourself, immediately building reputation. Aaron, you want to jump on that and share anything about that?
Well, I want to jump into branding. Like one of the things that I'm noticing is we have agents. There's so many agents in the market, and I over the last 20 years, I've worked with tens of thousands of agents, and one of the number one things we notice is they don't actually have a brand. You see these guys on TV. Most of them are all my client. They have a brand. TV helps shape or craft that brand, but the average agent has never sat down and actually crafted a brand. So let's actually define what that is. Because it sounds like an easy word to understand, but what's the definition of branding? The definition of branding is the gut feeling that someone has when they interact with your brand. So it's that gut feeling. So one of the things I would strongly recommend you do is create a document, save it in the marketing folder of your computer, and actually define what is my brand? How do I want people to experience my business as I grow and develop my business? Our brand is never realized, it's never achieved. It's always something that's growing and evolving. So I think step number one, takeaway number one, set aside some time, pull out a Word document, and actually start to think about like, okay, in the next couple years, how do I want people thinking about my business? What's the gut feeling that they're going to have when they interact with my listing presentation, my videos, my social media, when they interact with a hard mail piece, a newsletter of mine? What is that experience? And really start to craft it. I think that is so, so valuable for people.
Absolutely. And it's more than just like your name and an icon, right? I mean,
Oh my
I think that's like where most realtors are living, and like it's a name and an icon. And
Right.
you really got to go beyond that to think, what is the future of your brand? How do you want people to interpret your brand?
Yeah. So let's talk about the next facet of this.
And
So
hold on
I
one
want to know.
second, Aaron. I just
Oh yeah.
want to stop. There is some comments about audio. Do you happen to have any headsets that you can plug in?
We tried and it actually messed everything up even worse.
I got
Is
you.
closer any better?
They'll let me know. I hear you perfectly fine, but I have a couple people that are mentioning it.
Okay.
But on StreamYard, we're fine. I think it's a Zoom issue, but
Okay.
well, let's keep rocking. Dylan
Okay.
says I hear him fine. Katerina says I hear it fine. Okay, so we're good to go.
We'll do our best, everybody. So the next facet we kind of roll into is like, okay, I need a brand. Got that. Now what do I do? So kind of a structural piece that helps actually bring structure to this conversation is brand pillars. So what do you mean, Aaron, by brand pillars? What are brand pillars? Brand pillars are the things that make up your brand. They're anywhere between 3 and 6 pillars that make up what your brand stands for. So it requires a little thing like, geez, what does my brand stand for? Like, what does that mean, Aaron? Well, I'll give you some examples. And these examples actually really do apply to your specific industry. So you can steal these if you want to. One brand pillar is going to be real estate because that's your industry naturally. 2 could be intelligence, capability. We want to be the smartest, most capable agent in the room when we're interviewing for a property. So part of your aspect of your brand, part of your pillars is that capable. I'm the most capable. I'm the smartest, most intelligent, most capable agent that you know. Community is a big brand pillar. Interior design or architecture could be a brand pillar for you. Lifestyle, we see a lot with real estate agents. Lifestyle could be food and restaurants. It could be travel, community aspects. So you want to come up with somewhere between 3 and 6 brand pillars. More isn't better, just somewhere between 3 and 6. So what do your brand pillars do? It's a really important question. What are these brand pillars going to do for my brand? Your brand pillars give way to your content strategy. Your content strategy. So here's the Pepsi challenge. We take Joe Schmo Realtor, we go pull them up right now on social media, and we look at the last 2 weeks of their posts. If I just see open houses and gym selfies, that's a very flat, very monochromatic brand. There's no brand pillars there. It's not interesting to the consumer. Your job as an influencer is to be able to have sticky content that actually applies to me, the consumer. So think about this for a second. All right, I need brand pillars that represent my brand, that are hopefully authentic to me. And my brand pillar is going to give way to my content strategy. And this content strategy has to do what? It has to make my content sticky for all those people out there that I want to have as my target market, my ideal customer. That makes sense?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. And just to touch on it a little more, I think a lot of realtors struggle with like, what is their content strategy? What do they put out there? And what I think, just to summarize a little bit of what Aaron's saying is when you come up with your brand pillars, they become your categories of content.
Yes.
Right. So it makes it really easy for you to wake up in the morning and go, what am I going to talk about on social today? Right. What am I going to talk about in my marketing today? For our company, like my brand pillars are Google. Like I'm going to talk about Google all day long. I'm going to talk about social media all day long. I'm going to talk about reputation all day long. I'm going to talk about technology all day long. Those are like
community. You also built a community. So one of your brand pillars is also community. That's why we're doing this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah. Any questions percolating that we need to look at?
Well, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping just to go through the rules of the game as they participate today, because I want people to play all out. If you're having any trouble on Zoom with audio, I recommend you move over to StreamYard. If you join the Facebook group, you can go and join on StreamYard. Apparently, the audio is perfect on there. It's kind of like the weather is great on StreamYard, but on Zoom, it's a little foggy. Move over to StreamYard and you'll have better reception. Now, let me just go through just a couple of these slides just to get the housekeeping done, and then we're going to jump back into the content. But as we're going through this, I want you to do a little bit of homework. I want you all to start writing down, like, I hope you have a journal and you're taking notes for this challenge, but you should write down, what are my brand pillars? And then come up with at least 4 to 5, right? And if you have questions, feel free to post your brand pillars in the chat, and we'll tell you if, yeah, those are good brand pillars, or, hey, you need to tweak this one or that one. It'll give us something to work with. All right, so let me share the screen on this right here. Boom. Share screen. There we go. All right. So just over here, as far as the agenda for the next 5 days, because some of you are tuning in newly, yesterday was influencer mindset. Today is branding and marketing plan. Tomorrow is social media and your database. Day 4 is health and a mental 6-pack. We're bringing Ben Azadi from day 1 back. And day 5, we have Tristan Ahumada talking about becoming that influencer. What we're doing here in this challenge, and why I built this challenge, is for you to master every area of your digital marketing, to hear from some of the top industry professionals about these topics. And when we look at marketing, these are just some of the marketing. I put this together, Aaron, off of your marketing spreadsheet that you gave us. Just some things that people should be thinking about. Like, what is marketing? And people think it's like this one thing. And what I learned in the last year, it's like, no, it's like 20 things. Easy.
It is.
And you may not do all of them this year, and that's okay. Like, you may just adopt 1, you may adopt 3, you may adopt 7, but look at what we have on the list. Email marketing. That could be daily, that could be quarterly, that could be monthly. We have newsletters that could be monthly or quarterly. We have phone prospecting, text message prospecting, online marketing. We have possibility of TikTok. We have referrals, referral programs, affiliate marketing, partnerships. We have social media, we have Google, we have search engine optimization, we have snail mail, still working. We have PR, press releases, public relations, we have reputation marketing, we have video marketing, and we have podcasts. And this is just to name a few. Right. And I think and I'm just going to say what the biggest mistake I made in my career is trying to do all of them at the same time. It's like sprinkling the flowers and trying to expect all of them to grow, versus like really taking care of the plants that you want to take care of and grow, and watering them and nurturing them and being in the details and being in the weeds. And then you get this beautiful, beautiful flower that works. And that's just one marketing channel. Now you can move on to the next one, make that one work. And now you've got 2 marketing channels that are working. And then you can make 3 that are working, etc.
Beautiful.
So that's just an overview. What is an influencer? I want you to understand this. Is an influencer is someone who has the power to affect others' purchasing decisions because of their authority, their knowledge, their position, their relationship with their audience. A following is in a distinct niche with whom they actively engage. So when you read that, I read that as a realtor and I go, you're all influencers. You all are affecting others' purchasing decisions because of your authority, because of your knowledge, because of your position, because of your relationship as a realtor in the community. So if you own it that you're an influencer, now it's just about how are you going to influence your market, right? You're already an influencer, all of you. So I want you to stay in the chat. I'm having everybody do this all week long because I want to nail it in your heads. It's not like one day I'm going to be an influencer, Alex. Someday I hope to be an influencer, Alex. Today, I am an influencer. Put it in the chat, declare it for yourself. This is the reality. Now it's just about learning some cool tools that make your influence even greater.
Right.
Awesome. Chris says I'm an influencer. Giselle says I'm an influencer. John says I'm an influencer right now. I love it. Awesome. A little more housekeeping. If you have not joined the community line to get updates on these sessions that we're doing, text the word challenge to 516-400-4161. This is entering you into the giveaways. This is giving you the information about when we go live. This is not for us to spam you. This is just for you to keep up to date on what we're doing in here. The other one is join the Facebook group. We've seen a lot of people joining. Probably 50% of the people that registered for this challenge joined the group. So there's 50% of you that have not joined. And apparently the weather is a lot nicer on StreamYard. So come over to StreamYard and get the best audio quality possible. When you get to StreamYard and you've joined through the Facebook group, make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, and that'll enable us to see your name. Otherwise, it'll just say Facebook user. Lastly, information alone never helped anyone. I'm going to start with this instead of saying it at the end. I don't want you to dabble. I want you to go all in. You've blocked the time to be here. So really pull out your journals, comment in the chat, ask questions. This is how you get the most juice out of it. And I'll tell you, when I get to hang around with people like Aaron, and I get to hang around with people that are top industry professionals, I'm all in. Like my ears are wide open. My notebook is wide open. And I'm literally just doing what they're saying. Because why would I even question it, honestly? Like some people just have more experience than me. And I'm just going to listen and I'm going to take action. And when I do that, I get results. Because there's only so much I know. And I know who to go ask for the goodies. And we got the man right here. So dabble on the left, all in on the right. I want you to go all in today, okay? So ask questions, make sure you get involved. We're giving away tons of giveaways. I'm giving away a digital business card today. We're giving away a 1-hour strategy session with Aaron Keith, valued at $997. We're also giving away a book from Ivan Estrada, Brand with Purpose. So there's lots of giveaways happening today. Be with it. We're also giving away a .real estate domain, $69 value, free for the year from the National Association of Realtors. And we're talking about becoming a real estate influencer. This does work. Let's jump ahead right to Aaron here, branding and marketing. I'm bringing it back to you, Aaron. Brand pillars, what we were talking about. Branding is what we're talking about. And let's keep on rocking here.
All right. So speaking of being in action, I'm going to give you all homework assignment. So your homework assignment is sometime in the next week, I want you to go into the boardroom or wherever you have a big table. I want you to set up your laptop and pull up your website. I want you to set down your phone, pull up your social media. I want you to put your listing presentation on the table, your hard mail, postcards, all of it. I want you to put all of your marketing on the table. And then I want you to be really honest and look. And if you have an assistant, bring your assistant. If you have a team, bring your team. The more, the better. And I want you to look at it objectively. Is it cohesive? What brand is this? Is this What's the gut feeling I'm getting from looking at all this? Is this someone I would hire? And really scrutinize it and ask yourself, where are my brand pillars in this? Am I seeing different brand pillars showing up in my marketing? It's a really great way of doing just an audit of your marketing every year. So strongly, strongly recommend you do that. Okay, so I just want to take some questions. We've talked about a little bit of branding, a little bit of brand pillars. Does anyone have any questions about branding, brand pillars before we move on to, because we're going to move on to the marketing plan next. You're on mute, Alex.
Let's hear from Sheila, Irina. Who else do we got here? Charnel, what are your brand pillars? What are your questions about brand pillars? Let us know in the chat and I'll ask Aaron directly.
All right.
This is your opportunity to go all in and get your answers. You could literally get your brand pillars created right now. We can use you as an example.
Absolutely.
So Francisco says, what is the meaning of branding? Question mark.
The meaning of branding is the gut feeling that someone has when they interact with your brand. So that's the definition of branding. So you're always trying to ask yourself, does my brand communicate to my ideal client, my target market? Is it aligned? You know, am I trying to sell Walmart to my client, or am I trying to be the Four Seasons? Depends on where you are, depends on you. One's not right, one's not wrong. Both are very successful brands, but they're also very different brands. But you have to identify, what is my brand? And is my branding going to actually communicate and convey itself to the type of market I'm trying to bring through?
Awesome. And then I got a question about brand pillars, and I'll tag team that with Shelly's question is, how do you find the best pillars to get the most exposure?
Exposure and brand pillars are actually separate conversations. So, which we're going to address today. I'm definitely going to answer that question in the next little bit. Exposure is the marketing plan. Your marketing plan is the tool that pushes content out into the world to get you that exposure. Your brand pillars are the message, it's the content that's being pushed through the different channels. So we're going to talk about all the different channels in literally a minute here. So just get your content clear. Because remember, everybody, Alex kind of warned you, I can be blunt and direct. Most of the realtors that I see, and I can just pull up social media after social media on my phone and just literally show it to you right here. Most realtors, their social media is flat. It's open houses, just listed, gym selfie, or something. It has no content for me, the consumer. Why should I care about that? So your brand pillars should give depth and value. If you're not giving value to your audience, your engagement is not what it could be. And in 2023, depending on what market you're in, you all need the most engagement humanly possible right now. So having depth in your marketing plan, having depth in your pillars, man, that's what's going to get you the engagement. That's what's going to get this thing rich and vital.
So having spoken to a lot of realtors, I think there's two things that come up. And one is like almost like imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not sure if I have anything special of value to share. It's like I have listings, I have real estate advice, but it's like I think when I ask people this question, it's hard for them to go beyond that and say like, well, what are my exclusive content pieces or my exclusive brand pillars? And I think we should touch on that.
You want some examples?
Yeah, let's touch on that for a second.
Listen, I'm just going to riff and give you some examples. This is off the top of my head, so we'll see how this comes. Let's take the brand pillar of community. This is also a little bit of lifestyle, a little bit of community, depending on how you slice and dice. Restaurants. I'm a homeowner. A lot of my friends are homeowners. I care about the restaurants in my area. If you did a video series about interviewing the chefs or restaurateurs in your area, not only would you be building business alliances with those restaurants and those successful people, but you're also giving me, the consumer, valuable, useful information about my community in which I live. So you could do a whole series on the top 5 restaurants with rooftop decks, the top 5 waterfront restaurants, the best places for happy hour and date night. I mean, that I can just go off on video just around food, right? Push that aside. Let's say one of yours is interior design and architecture. You could do a video series on you can go to Stone Yard. Let's talk about the different kind of stone you can put in your kitchen. Let's talk about how it affects resale. Let's talk about how it affects durability. Next, let's go to a window covering store. Talk about all different kinds of window coverings. How does it affect resale? Blah, 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 blah. The top 5 paint colors that builders are using this year. There's so much that you could talk about that is just around the home that homeowners actually care about. It's interesting content, it's easy content, and you're also building relationships with those business owners while you're doing this work, which is super valuable.
I love that.
I don't see
Yeah.
stuff like that often.
That's great. I'm going to use Andres as an example. Could my brand pillars be, and these are Andres's brand pillars: reputation, above and beyond service, knowledgeable investor, friendly, honesty?
No. Friendly and honestly, you couldn't put together posts about that. That would be something I would care about, that the average person would care about. Those are traits about your brand, which is great. Those are all very, very good traits. I wouldn't dismiss those. They just go in a different place in your branding category. So when you're building out an entire brand profile, which we're not doing today, it's a whole different conversation. Inside your brand profile, you will list some of your core traits, your core principles. That's where that would fall in: honest, integrous, friendly, blah, 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 blah. Your brand pillars have to have more substance to them so that you can generate content behind it, right? So let's use intelligence. I would recommend that everybody listening to this, you probably should have a brand pillar that's similar to intelligence. Why? There's a million realtors out there. I buy a lot of real estate. I'm an investor. Okay. I'm not a licensed realtor, but I use a lot of real estate agents. I'm looking for the smartest, most capable, most intelligent agent I can find in a specific market when I'm buying investment properties. So I should see on your social market reports, what's happening in real estate globally, what's happening in real estate in the United States, what's happening in real estate in your specific market. Show me how smart and intelligent you are. Talk to me about investment strategy. Talk to me about cap rates. What's happening with cap rates right now? That's the kind of stuff that is valuable. So when someone is watching your channel, looking at your YouTube, like, man, they really know their stuff. They're sharp. I want to interview them. That's the kind of stuff that's empowering right now.
I love it. I got a couple of questions. Don Lewis says, is a brand pillar education for new agents, helping them bring up, I'm in contract compliance and would love to offer this?
Sure. That would be great. Yeah, absolutely.
And then Fred says, I have a Maintenance Monday post that I give info on home and lawn maintenance. Is that a brand pillar?
100%.
There we go. We're hitting
100%.
it. And lastly, Shelly comes back. She says, I've always heard that you should do a more personal item or two than a brand item. Is that true or an old thought? And I think she's talking about posting cadence. Like,
I think that's true. Because if I'm understanding the question correctly, it sounds accurate to me because I want authenticity. I want to know you, the person, not just the polished brand.
yep.
So, with the kids, walking the dog, just a little bit of stuff personally has to exist, or else you're too business, and then people won't connect to you.
Perfect. And last question, I want to integrate my homesteading into my marketing. Is that a brand pillar?
It absolutely can be. I mean, it's super interesting. It's real estate related, and you're going to learn so much. That could be yeah. I have a client that moved to another country, and they documented that transition. Oh my gosh, that stuff works great. People eat that up. I mean, hell, that could be a TV show.
I love it.
All right, can we jump into the next chunk?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Right,
I think they got it.
So we're going to transition a little bit, and we're going to move away from branding, and we're going to move a little bit more into the actual structural marketing plan. So there's something I want to hit on first. It's called your lead source breakdown. So everyone write this down. Everyone write down lead source breakdown. This system is very simple, yet very powerful. We can't build a marketing plan until we know how many leads you have to bring in every month and where are those leads going to come from, right? Where are these leads going to come from? Because your marketing plan is designed to bring business in. But if we don't know where it's going to come from and how much business we need from these different channels, how are you going to build a marketing plan that works? And I think this is the downfall of so many people. They either don't have a marketing plan, or if they do have a marketing plan, it's more of a guesstimation of what they think might happen. So here's the simplicity of this. You're going to do two things. You're going to tell me where you want your business to come from. I want it to come from open houses, business alliances, my A clients, my B clients, referrals, blah, 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 networking, whatever. And then I want you to say, how many leads do you want to bring in from each source? It's listen, everybody. Alex mentioned mindset the other day, that he was, on one of the other talks. This is the mental component here. If you don't know how many leads you're supposed to bring in to hit your sales goal, and you don't know where these leads are going to come from, you're simply just guessing. You're driving your car completely blindfolded, hoping you get there safely. In a market like we're in now, you can't just sit back and coast and be casual. This is not the market to be casual. In 2020, 2021, listen, we were all making money hand over fist. It was easy to be casual. Now, not the case. Your business acumen really comes into play here. So do yourself a favor. Make a list of every place you want business to come in from. Then list how many leads a month you want coming from each one of those sources. Stick it up on the wall. Leave it on your desk. You need to ingrain that into your brain. Okay? So now we know that. Now we can move on to actually building a real marketing plan. So let's,
go ahead. I want to pause for a second because, you taught me this a while ago. And I think before we get into lead source breakdown, I think that's huge, is like when I interviewed 60 realtors last year and they were top producers. And I said, do you have a deal source breakdown?
Yeah.
And they didn't. 59 out of 60 could not break it down by deal where it came from. Yep. Right? They gave me the overarching themes like open houses, referrals, and I'm like, give me a percentage. They're like, I'd have to guess. I'm like, you'd have to guess where your deals came from. So that's the first thing, is like, if you can't deal source break down your deals from last year, that means you didn't track them. So make sure going into 2020, 23, you're tracking that. And now he's talking about lead source breakdown, which I do as well. And again, tracking is key, right? Because if I'm not tracking, I'm not actually knowing what's working and what's not working. And I can tell you that I thank Aaron big time for having me start to track stuff, and other advisors also coming and yelling at me and saying, you must track, because I was able to look at 2022 and deal source everything. And I have thousands of deals. Okay, so don't give me the excuse, so I got 50 deals, I can't track it. I have thousands of deals. I'm tracking it by campaign. And then I'm lead source tracking to know my numbers.
Exactly.
Because I'm going to bang that into everybody's head, is like, I know it's an extra step. My salespeople hate that extra step. But I'll tell you what, that data is so valuable.
So valuable. Because it also impacts your budget, everybody. A lot of people always ask me when I'm speaking on stage, what should my marketing budget be? Well, your marketing budget depends on your marketing plan, and you have to track to see if you're getting an ROI or an ROT. What's ROI? Return on investment. What's ROT? Return on time. A lot of the marketing that you all do is time intensive, which is, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's return on time. Are you doing the work to actually track the time you invested and the money you invested? What kind of return are you getting? Remember, this whole thing that Alex and I are putting on here is about up-leveling your business. Remember, being casual, the easy route. You don't get a six-pack from the easy route. You don't become wealthy taking the easy route. That's why the top of the top have the discipline and the work ethic, the grind, to actually do the work to get to the top. So I really, really encourage you, don't go the route of ease. Go for what works. Tracking may take more steps, more time. It's fine. The value that you get, the knowledge that you get on how to refine your spend, refine your time management is massive over your career. I'm talking massive. So that's a big one.
And what I love about tracking, besides like that view that you get and you're like, aha, that aha moment, right? When you go backwards, but going forward, the predictability of the revenue and the predictability of the lead, I can actually tell my salespeople 20 phone calls will equal 2 conversations, will equal 1 appointment. So I know when they're like, "Oh, I'm at the 18th phone call. I don't know, Alex, this isn't really working." Go to 20.
2 more.
2 more to go, and it's predictable. Over the course of 3 hours, it'll average. Don't worry. Don't freak out. But that's where you want to get, where it's like you can predictably produce your results based on your lead flow and your lead breakdown.
Right. So this ties back to something so important, everybody. So I just want to reframe this. Your annual sales goal should be broken down all the way to the point where you know how many leads you need per month, how many appointments you need per month, how many active buyers and sellers, how many closed transactions, what's the average deal size. That information is called your annual sales goal breakdown. And without that, you won't know how many leads you need. If you don't know how many leads you need, you can't do your lead source breakdown, how many leads are coming from which source. So these systems are, it's the foundation. It's so hard to be successful without them. If you're already successful and you don't have these, just imagine how wildly successful you could be by putting them in place. So me and Alex really encourage you, build these. If you need help, reach out. I have systems I can send, but please start working on putting this in place. This is so big for 2023.
And I know for a lot of like solo agents or like smaller teams, it's like, well, you just gave me a lot of homework, Alex and Aaron. Thank you. Yes, it is homework. And guess what? You can delegate that out, right? Like they can go do the research for you. Don't make that the reason you don't get it, the data and the tracking. Find somebody to do it for you then.
Yeah. Admins, you can find people overseas. There's so many resources that you can do this. And to be honest, I've done this. I built 5 companies for myself over the last 22 years. I've done this myself. I know how long this takes. You're looking at maybe 30 minutes on Excel to knock out, one or both of these systems, maybe an hour if you're slow with Excel. But remember, everybody, there's power in learning how to do this. There's power in sitting down and confronting the fuck, I don't want to do this. I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna figure it out because my business matters to me. There's something in that process that alters you and makes you a better entrepreneur. That's part of the grind of what it takes to be wildly successful.
Perfect. Andy says that's one thing I did last year. I tracked all my deal sources. And Andy, feel free to comment. What did you learn from tracking all your deal sources? I bet you figured something out, like an aha moment, because I get plenty of those when I look at that data.
Yeah. All right. Should we roll on to marketing plan?
Let's do it.
All right. Make sure I'm not missing anything.
And by the way, I'm getting some great feedback here. Shelly says, I've always heard, she said, where did she say it? Well, she said it somewhere. She said that I've been in business for 9 years and I never heard information like so direct and to the point that, is providing value. So that's awesome.
Thank you. I mean, listen, our commitment is to make a difference for you. This is what we're here. I want to make a difference. So in marketing, and I picture me yelling this at you, okay? This is exclamation points everywhere. This next thing. There is so much static. There's so much interference and noise in the world these days. It's so hard for our marketing message to pierce that and actually land on our target market. I need you guys to really get that for a second. There's so much static, so much noise, so much interference that your marketing has to be structured in such a way that it can actually pierce that noise and land on me. You guys get that? Like that's the world in which we live, and it's just getting louder and louder by the day. So with that context, I want to move into marketing because our marketing conversation is gonna be built around that theory. Okay. When you're looking at your marketing, I implore you to please, please, please diversify. I see people that think that social media is the thing, the only thing, and that's the thing that's going to get them to be a multi-million-dollar producer. You need to understand that you need diversity to be successful in this marketplace. Why? Because of the noise. You might have 70, 80-year-olds in your database. You might also have 20-year-olds. You're going to have a wide spectrum of humans. Some people are readers, some people are watchers. I'm more of a watcher than a reader. I read really slow. You don't know who's in your database. Your marketing has to be diverse so that one style of marketing, which we'll talk about in a second, one style of marketing is going to actually pierce that noise and actually land in that person's brain. So let's talk about the different styles that I'm referring to. I'm not going to say every single style. I'm just going to rattle some off. We have hard mail, right? Something that's tangible. We have email, obviously. We have video, social media, in person. We have phone. There's all these different ways of communicating with humans these days. I don't want you to get single focused and just do one style. Here we go. There's the slide right there. You want to have a multifaceted approach to marketing. If you're going to succeed in this marketplace, you need a multifaceted approach to marketing. And I think that's the thing that I see that's deficient in the thousands and thousands of realtors that I work with on a yearly basis. Their marketing is very tunnel visioned. And unfortunately, in this market, it's not going to work. Not like it could work. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people just rely on like one or two sources of leads or like one or two sources of marketing, like,
Yeah.
open houses and referrals. It's like I hear that on the top of the list all the time, but there's so much more that could be happening. And when you look at like the top producers, like #1 EXP team in the world, #1 Remax team in the world, and you look at what they're doing, it's like diversified influence, it's diversified marketing channels.
It is.
It's like so much going on. It's like newly adopted tech, right, as a channel.
Right. And I coach the largest real estate agents in the world. I coach everybody on $1 Million Listing. I coach brokerages. I coach some of the biggest top producers. I mean, I have many of my clients that do in the billions a year in sales. So I've seen marketing plans that work and marketing plans that do not work. So I want to touch on how to build a marketing plan, right? Because I'm sure as we're talking here, part of what's going to bubble up for you is like, all right, well, like, how do I get a marketing plan? Do you have one? How do I find one? Does the internet have one? Let me explain to you the simplicity of how to build this. If you want a resource of marketing plan, you can obviously reach out to us. But here's the steps. Step one is who. Who are we targeting? Your marketing plan should start to list who am I targeting? Your A clients, your B clients, your business alliances. Who am I targeting? Next, you're going to start to deal with the frequency. How frequently are we doing this? I'll give you some examples of frequency. So let's say our who is our A clients. Our frequency is quarterly. And then last is the style. What's the style of communication? So let's say the newsletter is going to be the style. So my A clients, I'm going to market them every quarter, and it's going to be through a newsletter. I need you to take that format and reproduce it for every kind of action you can think of. Hard mail, email marketing, social media, blah, 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 networking, events, all the things. You may not use all of that marketing. You may not, which is great. You may not need to. But a real marketing plan has everything from email marketing all the way down to PR at the very bottom. The most effective marketing to the least effective marketing. The most expensive marketing to the cheapest marketing. Lay out your marketing plan from inexpensive and highly effective to very expensive and least effective. Like PR is expensive, low yield. That all make sense?
Yeah, let me just give some real life examples because I went through this with you and now I totally get it. I did not get it before. So like step one, who could be your past clients, your existing clients, your prospects.
Yes.
Right? Those are 3 different segments. The frequency, I'm gonna send my current clients an email every week. I'm gonna send my past clients a newsletter every month. Right? I'm gonna do a quarterly marketing campaign by mail to all my prospects.
Right.
What's my style? My style is well, you give me more details on style because I want to not clear on. Do you mean like digital or like the branding of it, or what do you mean?
Yeah, with style, I'm talking about like communication style. What's our communication style? Is it going to be a phone call? Is it going to be hard mail? Is it going to be a text message, an
Yep.
email, a video email, a social media message? There's so many different styles, right? In person networking, right? We can do things like that. There's so many different styles that we want to start paying attention to, because that style is going to start penetrating for other folks. And we don't know. We don't know what style fits for everybody in the database, because we don't. We'll never be that way. So it's so important that your marketing plan has that diversity to it.
Yeah, and to break it down really simple, just create a spreadsheet, put the different types of marketing in one column, then
Correct.
put the steps of who you're targeting, and then the
Mhm.
frequency, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual, and then the
Absolutely.
style, paper, print, email, digital,
Mhm.
video, whatever.
Yeah. We have some complicated ones that we built over the years that our clients get access to, of course, with all these systems our clients get. But this is something that is very in your realm to build. It'll take you about an hour or so of laying this thing out and thinking through it. Now, I'm going to give you the Pepsi challenge next. Okay, so here's the next layer. Promise us you're going to make a marketing plan. I don't care if it looks terrible and ugly and you do it on your wall or you scratch it into your desk. You're going to promise us, please, that you're going to build a marketing plan in the next week. And then next, the Pepsi challenge is price. I want you to make a column and start listing how much does this action cost me per month, per year. Email marketing, okay? I just have to pay MailChimp, every month. Okay, that's it. Hard mail, okay? I'm gonna do hard mail every quarter. I'm gonna probably spend, $800 a quarter. Blah, 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 blah. I want you to start to figure this out, because this is how you know how much your marketing plan is gonna cost you. People always ask me, right? How much should I spend on marketing? I don't know. Depends on your plan. Depends on how many leads you need to produce every month. If you need 2 leads a month or you need 1,000 leads a month, I'm going to answer the question very differently. So, this is why your marketing plan has to be built first in order to understand what the cost of your marketing budget should be for the year. And just so you guys get the whole picture here from soup to nuts, if we know our lead source breakdown, we know how many leads we need per month per quarter, then we know how much or how big the marketing plan has to be. Depending on the size of the marketing plan, we know how much the spend needs to be. So all these systems work like little gears. It all works together. This is one big process. You leave out little steps, the process gets a little weaker. So you want to have really effective marketing, start there.
So that was going to be part of the homework. So I'm glad Aaron jumped in. Like I said, information alone is not going to help you. We're talking about implementation. So how many people on this call? Let me know in the chat. And I mean, I'm making this a requirement. This is part of the challenge. Like, you didn't come on this challenge just to watch us and eat popcorn. You came on the challenge to get stuff done for your business. You're taking the time here instead of spending the time there doing business. Is here you're working on your business. So take this opportunity, work on your business, submit your marketing plan to us. We're going to send you a homework link at the end, and it's going to be in the Facebook group. You'll get to submit your plan. We'll give you feedback. So just do it.
Yeah. So we have about 12 more minutes left. I want to just plop in this last little chunk of time my personal recommendations for you. So if I had it my way and I was your business coach and you asked me, all right, Aaron, like for 2023, give me your top three. Like what are three actions in the world of marketing that I should do that you think in this new environment of the world that we have here that is actually going to work? My number one action: business alliances. What's a business alliance? A business alliance is a mutually beneficial relationship between two businesses. I'll give you some examples. So write these down. CPAs, business alliance. Wealth managers, family law attorneys, interior designers, architects. These are people, depending on your market, there could be like some of the celebrity stuff. I'll leave that out because that doesn't fit most markets. But some of these, like home managers, these people that are like family offices that manage the wealth of large families. These are people that are business alliances. They work with your type of client, your ideal client. And again, I've been doing this for 20 years. I've coached the biggest agents in the world, and I can promise you, very few agents that I've ever worked with have enough business alliances. They may know a lot of CPAs, but do those CPAs actually attempt to send you a lead in 1 year? If your business alliance hasn't tried to send you a client in 1 year, they're a business contact, not an actual alliance. That's the distinction between a business contact and a business alliance.
Talk
So
about,
what's that?
I was going to say, talk about business alliance. I got Ivan Estrada in the waiting room. I could add him in just to listen into the conversation.
Bring him on. So Ivan's been a client for a long time, and Ivan's one of my, what's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
We're talking about business alliances, and I'm not saying this just because Ivan's here. He's just been one of the best, most coachable people that I know. It's why he's so wildly successful. Ivan's one of the only agents that I know in the United States, out of the thousands and thousands I've worked with, who actually has built out his business alliances, and he gets about 30% of his overall business from business alliances.
At least.
Very few agents do. Yeah. Very few
Well,
agents do.
it works. I mean, that's the thing about building business alliances. It's not immediate business. It takes time. You have to really flourish with those relationships. You have to show value. You have to really spend time with one another and build that trust. And once you've built that trust, they just keep coming. They just keep coming.
Right.
So
that's one of my number one takeaways for all of you today is go start to build out your business alliance set. It's so valuable. The next thing that I'm going to say is video. Obviously, Ivan is following me here, and he's going to talk about that. He's the video master. He has one of the best video courses in the United States. Video, video, video. I don't care how scared you are. I'm going to say that again. I don't care how intimidated, how scared, how uncomfortable you are. Video is the way this world has gone. That ship has sailed. You need to get on the bandwagon with it. You need to get past, I don't like how I look. I don't like how I sound. No one likes how they look. No one likes how they sound. That's human nature. Your brain's designed that way. Every human thinks that. So just push that aside and build it into your marketing plan. Whether it's YouTube marketing, social media marketing, email marketing, you need to be leveraging video in those facets if you're going to compete with the market these days. I'll let Ivan obviously when he's up kind of clobber some of that, but man, please take that on as your marketing plan. And then last, I'm going to say go deeper with your A's and B's. I'm seeing people that over the last couple of years, because of the ease it was to run a real estate business, a lot of people took their foot off the gas, and a lot of people have not marketed their A's and B's like they should have. I'm really encouraging my top clients, deep dive, start doing events, start getting back there with them, picking up the phone, have those conversations, stay connected to the people who built your career. So I'm going to kind of leave it off with that. We can open it up for questions, Alex.
Yeah, I just want to tie it together. I mean, this is an example of like alliance marketing, right? I mean, what I'm doing here is after interviewing all of these people, and I recommend if you want to create an alliance, most people don't have an hour to spend on the phone with somebody else, as messed up as I'm going to say that is for humanity, in a sense. At the same time, if I book a podcast interview with them, they will give me an hour of their time. Aaron has done it. Ivan has done it. The president of the National Association of Realtors gave me an hour of her time, right? So, I mean, you are all in the industry. For you to go to somebody of top influence, like your broker, the CEO of your major brokerage, and say, I'd love to interview you, immediate credibility, immediate alliance, right? I mean, it's just so valuable. And then you can have a challenge like this too. Why not? Right. So, I mean,
totally agree.
Awesome. So one thing I want to make sure you are all thinking about as we exit from Aaron's marketing and branding session and move into Ivan's is, what is your biggest takeaway from Aaron's session today? I'd love for you to put that in the StreamYard or in the Zoom chat. And we are going to award the best answer, the person with the most listening mindset, the person that's going to take action and actually got something really big out of this session. We're going to give you 1 hour with Aaron Keith. That's a strategy session that he offered for one person on this call. So that's the giveaway today. It's a $997 value. Put your answers in there. Katarina is going to choose the winner, and then you're going to email Katarina to get the prize.
I love it.
So we'll wait a little bit just to.
Do you want to take any questions?
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple people, their answers are the pillars, and that I can use something that is of interest to me and extend it to others. Honesty and sincerity. Pillars are key to define who you are, to connect the dots with the pillars. Multiple marketing strategies. Start a list from most expensive to least and include how and where. Biggest takeaway, I have to track my numbers and be disciplined and have my brand pillars clearly defined, and then build a marketing plan and strategy around that. Deal source breakdown, pillars for marketing, cost for leads, other business alliance, who, how, and style. I had a lot of answers. People want this giveaway for sure. This is the most engagement I got on a giveaway. So let's rock. All right, Katarina, I'm going to leave it up to you, and then we're going to take some questions. So Katarina, who's the winner? Let me know in either StreamYard or in Zoom, and I'll give them the instructions on how to claim that prize. We got John Woods. John Woods is the winner, says, I will work with my assistant and team members, I'll put the answer right there, to create a marketing plan along with a deal breakdown for 2022 and our plan for 2023 with cost and target and a clear focus on our brand pillars.
Well said.
Comprehensive answer. Looks like implementation waiting to happen. I love that.
Agreed.
So John Woods, please email Katarina@realgrader.com. Put your name, your email in the subject line. Put Aaron Keith strategy session, and we'll make sure to get that scheduled for you. Thank you, Aaron, for providing that to somebody
100%.
ready to rock, take action.
Love it.
And let's answer some questions before we move to Ivan in a few minutes. Let's see. Everybody hear me okay on Zoom? Sheila says she can't hear me, but it looks like my audio is good. Questions. Don't go quiet on me now, people.
I know.
You were rocking.
Ivan, do you have any marketing questions for
Probably
us?
everybody upset that they didn't get the prize. They're like, oh, it's on me. Audio's
Y'all
good.
can always reach out. I'm here for all of you. You can always reach out.
Perfect. Here's a question. For new agents wanting to send out a video or post a video on your social media, what would you recommend talking about for new agents?
Not to sound like a broken record, but I'm going to bring it back to brand pillars. The question of what should I post? What should I send out? Should always be answered with, what are my brand pillars? Have I sent out a video on this brand pillar, this brand pillar, this brand pillar? The whole purpose of your brand pillars is to tell you what kind of content should be going out and how frequently it should be going out, so that your business model or your brand is never too lopsided or monochromatic. It has depth and diversity to it.
I love that. Ivan, any thoughts on that?
He's good at it.
Agents, I think most importantly, when I was a new agent and I was actually started doing videos like 14 years ago, I just wanted people to really get to know me for who I was, the person, not the real estate agent, but Ivan, the human. And so I tried to really connect things that were really important to me. My background is in accounting, so I was connecting with people in the business world with accounting. I had a dog, so I was connecting with people about my dog, including him in my marketing. So really including pieces of who you are in your personal life in those videos is super important, because yes, there's a lot of content that we could create to provide value on, what are the 10 key mistakes for the first-time home buyer, what things to have in mind when you're taking out a loan, but also just embedding some of who you are and why you do what you do. I think that's incredibly important.
Right.
That's perfect. The who you are and what you do. Monica asked, what would be a good introduction video for a new YouTube channel? And I think you pretty much said it. It's like, it's introducing who you are and what you do, and like being human about it, not just like salesy about it. Yeah. That brings me to a good point. And Aaron says this, keeps pounding this into me for years now, is that our company is really good at sales, right? And we have a great sales team, But marketing is not just going to market to get sales, right?
Yes.
Marketing is when you're actually not selling anything, you're just providing value, right? And I think that's a huge distinction. We all look for like the instant hit, the instant dopamine, the quick ROI, the quick ROT. There is no quick ROI. There is no quick ROT. There is a dopamine hit, but it's not going to be in marketing, right? So you have to invest in your people. You have to provide value to your people. And I learned it the best during COVID, and it was by default. I wasn't because Aaron banged it in my head, but I was out of survival almost. I had no place to go. I said, I can't go to offices to sell. I'm just going to go online and provide free education. And when I did that every day, and I showed up every day at 2:00, Facebook Live, free education, guess what? My audience grew and grew, and my business doubled by default, right? So it's like, what's the ROI? I don't know. But I know that when I provide value and I market, first of all, I feel great. And B, people want to hear me and they want to listen. They want to open my emails. They want to read my content. They want to watch my videos. But if I'm sitting there selling real estate all day long or selling myself all day long, you can pretty much be sure they're going to unsubscribe.
Yeah, you're going to burn out your database.
Yeah,
you'll burn people out. Yeah, you can't keep selling to them. That is beautifully said, Alex. So I'm gonna leave you all with that. Because of my time management, I got to jump to my next call. So listen, everyone, I love you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I really appreciate you setting aside some time to spend with me today. I really do hope you got something of value. If you have questions, you need something, message me direct, find me on social, email me. I'm always here to answer questions.
Awesome.
Alex, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody,
Ivan, go rocket, brother.
Aaron.
See
Later. Bye, guys.
Awesome. So thank you for being here, Ivan.
Thank you. That was great. Aaron's the best. Just, I'm not plugging him, but I've been working with Aaron for the last 8 years of my career. And I have to say, I mean, he's taken me to a level I never thought was possible. And still to this day, he's like, we're not even, we haven't even scratched the surface yet. So he's nothing but like gold. So definitely reach out to Aaron.
100%. I meet with him every week, and every week is just like click, 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 getting those gears to move and shift. So yeah, to whoever it was, John Woods, you're in for a treat. And the rest of you, check out Aaron. He provides a lot of free, valuable content as well. Check him out online. And now I want to take the time to introduce Ivan Estrada. Ivan, thank you for being here. Ivan is a best-selling author. Ivan is a video marketing master. Ivan is a top producer at Douglas Elliman. Ivan is a good friend. We connected on a podcast, right, through Aaron Keith. And then we just kept connecting on social media. I'm happy that you joined. This is an amazing alliance to work with you here. I know we have a lot of friends in common, and I'm excited to get into video. I know you don't know this, but I quote you all the time in my sessions because I have so many agents that are uncomfortable being on video. Yeah. And I talk about the thing that you said where they could, just take out the camera and film themselves without posting it. Right. And I've had agents take that on and get more and more comfortable with themselves. So today we're going to talk about video. We're going to be talking about branding. I don't know what other topics Ivan's going to talk about, but it's going to be super valuable for the next hour or so. So thank you for being here, Ivan. Welcome to the challenge.
All right. Thank you, guys. So yes, we are going to be talking about branding. We're going to be talking about video. Before we even get into video, it's really important to have that infrastructure of the brand, because without the infrastructure of the brand, you can be creating video content that's just going down a black hole. And I've seen that. I've coached a couple of people in the past where they've been doing a lot of video content, and that's great. That's amazing. They're putting it on their TikTok, they're putting it on their Instagram, on LinkedIn, but there's no infrastructure. There's no blueprint of a plan, and there's no brand. Because at the end of the day, without the brand, you can't create videos that will actually work. And so I want to go over a presentation that I put together. Let me see. So there we go. There we go. And Alex, usually I'll just press the arrow, right? And that's how it goes. I haven't been on.
You should be good to go. Yeah, just hit the arrows. Okay. It happens.
Awesome. Perfect. So a little introduction about myself. My name is Ivan Estrada. I am the author of the book Brand with Purpose. Also the TED Talk, how to build or rebuild a personal brand, the instructor of the #1 online video course, Brand with Video, and also a real estate broker. I've been a real estate agent out here in Los Angeles for the last 14 years, over 600 million in personal sales. And all of that I have to attribute to building a brand and then using video to leverage that brand. And so what I hope I get to accomplish with all of you today is, for those of you that don't know where to start, hopefully I can really guide you with that blueprint and give you some action plans to do. For those of you that have one, how to be able to leverage it with video, be able to redefine it a little bit more, because as you know, the market's changing. So as the market changes, your brand has to change. It has to actually evolve. You have to evolve with the market, and the brand has to evolve. And so we'll talk about a couple of ideas that I've been using to implement into my business, and hopefully it will help you in yours. All right, and that is Ivan Estrada. Oh, by the way, this I wanted to share. This was a video, but I couldn't make it work. But during the pandemic, this was probably the best branding strategy I ever did. During the pandemic, that is my office desk. And I took it all around Los Angeles at the beginning of the pandemic. This was partially Aaron's idea. We worked together to figure out logistics. It was super tough to pull out because we did in the middle of the night. I mean, we were safe. It was a crew of 12 people to make this all happen. But we went to all these incredible landmarks around Los Angeles. And these photos and the video, which got on the news, they became my postcards. They were on my listing presentations, on my website, on my social media. And the reason I wanted to put this out there is, whenever there's times that are difficult in life, in business, there's always room to do something that can really help propel you to the next part of your career. And for me, this was it. So in your community, actually, people started copying this in their city. So if this is something you want to replicate for your marketing wherever you are in the country, it works, guys. It really works because it shows clients, wow, my agent thinks outside of the box. And B, that's pretty risky. So that shows me if you were willing to do that, you're going to go above and beyond for my property. So just
I love that. That's genius.
A little idea. All right, perfect. So brand with purpose. So in my book, Brand with Purpose, it's a combination of all industries: real estate, music, PR, film. And here are a couple of answers when I ask someone, so what is a brand with purpose? Like, what does that mean to you? Wilson Cruz, who's the actor and producer of Star Trek Discovery, said, "What we call a brand can only exist if you know what you believe in. Each and every one of us came into this world with a purpose. Our first job is to figure out what that purpose is. And our second job is to use our skills in furtherance of that." Another great answer that I got from Belinda Carlisle, who's also in the book, she said, there are choices that I make to protect my brand, right? There are certain shows I won't do, certain things I won't do as far as my career goals. A brand is a valuable asset. And the last one that I'll do is Phil Lobel, who's a big PR agent out here in Los Angeles, said, having an honest story that's going to resonate with the public is the key to having a strong personal brand. And so I want you to think about a couple of those things before we continue. All right. So this is going to be the overview of what we're going to discuss, and video is definitely in there. But like I said, this is the foundation. We need to put down the foundation so that then we can start building the structure. So we'll talk about what's your story. Very important. This is the foundation of the brand. Some ideas on how to be bold and different. And I actually put in my brand pillars here that I worked on with Aaron. So feel free to take a screenshot of those and I'll explain how I came up with those. Authenticity, incredibly important. Personalizing video. So we'll talk about video, how to get over some of the fears, how to come up with some of the content, how to expand your brand using video and also other forms of medium, still print. I'm still using print in addition to video, collaborations and relationships. And then the last one that I think is the most important is investing into your brand, which is investing in you. Like I said, a brand is always evolving. We must evolve with the real estate market. We must evolve with technology, AI, there's ChatGPT. People are freaking out. I tell people, don't freak out. This is here to help you. This is here to leverage your time to be able to expand the services that you provide to clients. Technology is there to help us if we allow it to. Now, before we continue, I want to do an exercise with you guys that I did with one of my coaches several years ago when I was coming up with my brand, because I didn't know. I was like, well, I think a brand is colors and logos, and I was showing him my logo. This was over 12 years ago, and he said, no, that's not what I'm saying. So I want to do an exercise with all of you guys. It's a bit emotional, and the point of this exercise is, in order to build a brand that lasts, there has to be some emotion behind it, right? There's certain products that we buy, certain pieces of music we listen to, and we listen to those artists because there's an emotional attachment to either the song or the artist or what they stand for. And I think that's incredibly important when you're strengthening the brand that you have now or creating one from scratch. So I'm going to ask all of you guys to close your eyes. I'm going to do it as well. I haven't done it in a while. And so I want you to visualize you driving in your car, and you pull up to a parking spot, and you look up, and you are at a mortuary. I know it's a little dark, but bear with me. The person that you love the most with all of your heart has passed away. Now, as you get out of this car, you open the doors to the chapel. You see friends, you see family, coworkers, and you slowly start making your way to the casket. As you walk up to the front, you see the person in the casket, and it's you. Now, if you had 3 people there, your best friend, a family member, and let's say a business partner or a coworker, what are the things that they would say about you? Right? What are things that would come top of mind for them about you as a person, as a company? I did this exercise with a friend, a family member, and a team member at the time, and it was eye-opening because I realized there was a lot of connections on things that I didn't even know people saw in me. And Aaron has actually said, a brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So what are people saying? So either you are aware of some of the strengths that you carry as a brand, or maybe some of the challenges. And this is an exercise you can do later on and putting a list together. What are the strengths of your personal brand? What would people say about you on your last day? And what are certain things that you would want to change, alter, that you could do now, that you could bleed into your personal brand and your business brand? Because at the end of the day, they both bleed into each other. What happens in your personal life goes into your business, and business into personal. And so again, do this exercise when you guys can. I'm thinking of redoing it because we change, right? We talk about evolution. You evolve as a brand, and I think it's always important to make sure that you evolve with it. All right, now let's get into the happy stuff. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so what is your story? So this is the foundational piece of a brand. People don't buy what you do, but why you do it. And so this is what gives you authenticity and creates trust with an audience, is your personal story. And so when building your brand or reinforcing what you have now, it's always important to integrate what previous experiences can you integrate into your brand. That could be education. That could be personal challenges, anything that you're passionate about, which goes into number 2. I'll give you an example of mine. Is my background is in accounting. So a lot of my marketing, a lot of my story of who I am as a broker in Los Angeles carries in the accounting from those experiences. So a lot of you may have had a previous experience as being a teacher or a lawyer or, an author per se. How can you integrate that into your story into your brand, because that is what connects you to other human beings. When I'm sitting in front of a seller or a buyer for an interview, yes, they care about track record and they ask a couple of real estate questions, but they want to know, who's the person? What's your value system? Tell me more about you as the human, not just the real estate broker. And one exercise I thought would be a great idea to do, if it just to kind of spruce some ideas, is drawing a timeline of all of your life events, memories, and achievements, and putting those out, and then figuring out, how can I integrate those into my story? How can I integrate those into my mission statement for my real estate company, or any company? It's all the same. And that's what's really going to give you your edge. That's what's going to make you different. That's what's going to make you stand out. Tom Ferry always says, if you walk down an aisle and there's a bunch of chips, right? You see all the colors, different brands. How do you go and you choose the right one that's the right one for you, right? You have to be the one that really stands out. And having a clear, intentional story is the way to do that.
Yeah, I could just add something here. I was looking for my story a while back, and I read the book Start With Why by Simon Sinek. And in reading that book, it just like ding, ding, ding hit me as I went through the course of my life. Like in 1999, my mom was struggling with technology. She was a realtor. I came home from college. I started helping her. She closed a really big deal. It paid the mortgage for years, and that stressed my mom out tremendously, paying the mortgage. So I got to see like helping my mom and then helping my mom's friends. And I got very clear on my why is like the same thing with my mom. Like I have the ability to help my mom with tech really easily and make a big difference in her stress, in her business, in her life. And then I realized so many of her friends and so many other realtors struggle with the same thing. So what if I could put together a team of players that helped realtors with that? And I tell that story over and over, and that's really part of my brand. And for all of you listening, I interviewed 60 realtors last year that were doing between 5 to 25 deals a year. And I asked them what their story is, why they got into real estate. And I can tell you, I wish I had recorded these conversations, because those stories were so touching and moving and inspiring. And I encouraged them to share them on social media, record them, write them, do whatever you could with them, because it's rare that I show up on social media and hear the story of a realtor. I hear the story of your listings and I hear, some stories, but each of you has this unique story. And when you can like what the exercise Ivan is introducing here is like, bring that together, look at your history, what led to this moment. You're sitting on your brand. It's not like you have to create your brand. You're actually already your brand. It's just your own recognition of what is the story that's in your head or in your life that has led you to this moment.
Exactly. And that's a great story, Alex. I actually had never heard that before. And it's just, it makes me want to support you even more. And, figuring out that story is how people are going to really see you with a different pair of lens. My part of my story is my parents are immigrants. I'm first generation here. My mom and dad are from Mexico. My dad was a janitor. My mom was a seamstress out in a warehouse in downtown Los Angeles. And their biggest dream was buying their first home. That was their biggest dream amongst anything else. And so when that happened for them, I always tell people that's part of my story, is helping people achieve that American dream of helping them with their home purchase. Because in a way, when I'm helping someone else, especially if it's, we're really relatable because we're, there's a lot of things that we have in common. It's like I'm helping my mom and dad. It's like I'm helping my mom and dad over and over again. And it's just like a really good, fulfilling feeling. And I think that's why I love what I do so much. And that's just, part of my story. So let's get into those brand pillars. I don't know if Aaron showed some brand pillars, but this is what it looks like. So these are some that I worked with him on. And these are my 5 pillars. So I have real estate, I have lifestyle, design, technology, and community. So those are the top 5 pillars of my business. I keep those on my desktop. They're on my office. These brand pillars I read out during my team meetings. We read these out. just so everyone is fully aware. It's like deep in my subconscious. This is who we are as a brand. By the way, design and technology was flipped. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, just in case you're reading it, you're like, what? Design is under home tech, so that should be under technology, and local travel should be under design. And so these pillars are the ones that I follow to figure out what my video content is going to be, what my marketing materials should say, what it should say on my website, on my social media. And the sub pillars is everything below it. And so I really try to iron it out as much as detailed as possible, so that way these are the subjects, these are the content that I'm going to use to create more video. And this is what's going to keep me within the bumpers, right? Because like I always tell people, you know, certain companies, like every major company, small company, Nike, Amazon, everyone has their pillars, and these are their bumpers. This is like where they stay in their own lane so that they don't confuse the consumer, right? Nike doesn't sell burgers. McDonald's does. They don't do anything with burgers. When you go to McDonald's, they have very sustainable brand pillars that are consistent around the world. So no matter what they do, they stick to their brand pillars. And that doesn't mean you can't change them. Every year, I review them with my team and I say, guys, these are our brand pillars. This is the content that we put out. This is the messaging that is part of our mission statement. This is what's on our website. This is what's on our social media. Is there anything here that is no longer part of the brand, or are there any additions and modifications that we should do? So hopefully, Alex, this kind of puts a little bit more, I guess, color to what Aaron was talking about.
Yeah, it's a great visual. I think everybody can create something like this, either on an Excel spreadsheet or with color. But, you know, figuring out what those major categories are, what those bumpers are. And I love the idea that you print it out, you keep it by your desk, because it's like, okay, I need to create content today. What am I going to create content about? And you look at that, you're like, oh, I got an idea. I mean, I look at your list and it's like, there's like 30 ideas I can come up with right now.
Exactly. And you could even mix them, right? You can kind of like mix real estate with design, lifestyle with technology, and it'll give you ideas that are in line with your brand. Because again, when you're building a brand, you want to stay consistent to who you are. I know that there's a lot of trends and all this stuff happening on social media, and that's fun. If you want to have fun, that's great. But I've just always been really good at staying consistent to who I am and what my voice is. And like I said, year after year after year after year, it just keeps bringing in more business and creating more trust. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do with all this, is create trust.
Well, and I think also what it does is, we run into people all the time. Sometimes I run into people, you know, once a year at a big real estate conference, and they go, oh, I see what you're up to lately, like Google, digital cards, this, that, the other. So it's like, it's hard for people to really know what you do for a living, right? Like, yeah, I'm in real estate. Okay, I got it. That's a general category, and there's 2.1 million realtors in the country. But what are you messaging about? What is your brand pillars? Like, what do you speak about? What's unique to you? If you repeat that consistently for days, for months, for years, you become known for that, which is your brand. And like, people see you at that conference and they're like, oh, you're you're in lifestyle and design and technology and community. And I see that showing up all the time. They get to like really figure out what it is that you cover and what it is that you speak about and who are you.
Exactly. And it keeps, as long as you keep that consistency, people will remember who you are. And as long as you're, like I said, not all over the place and you're very consistent, and the brand pillars is what's going to help you get there. Okay. So the next part, before we get more to the video, is, you know, being bold and different. This is the way to really stand out. This is the way that people are going to notice who you are. Like I put here, it's really important to know who you are serving, as important it is who you're not, right? And this becomes like the target market of who are the people that you want to go after. Like here in Los Angeles, everybody wants to do luxury real estate, right? Everybody wants to sell high-end homes, but they don't realize and know the amount of time that is required in order to build those relationships, right? You think, you watch a TV show and you think that it's super easy. Yay, you just saw a $10 million house and you just made a huge commission and you're done for the year. No, it's not like that. It's everything, like you said, this whole presentation, I'm not telling you, there is no quick fix. Building a brand is not a quick fix. This is something that you can just do instantly. This is a process. This is a process that takes months, it takes years, that down the road, when you're ready to retire, you can sell your real estate brand and continue to make money off of it as long as you continue to be consistent. And so here about being bold and different is really knowing who is your audience and who are people that are, it's usually people that are mirrors of us, right? For example, my audience, I am a huge music fan. I'm also, obviously, like I said before, an accountant. So I connect with a lot of people in the finance industry, a lot of people in the music industry, and those are most of my clients. Why? Because like attracts like. I go to music functions, I go to accounting functions, I go to seminars about accounting. I involve music and accounting into my real estate practice at whatever capacity I can. And so that's what usually brings in those types of people. And with me, it's like, it doesn't even feel like work because a lot of these people, we have a lot of the same common interests, and it makes life very pleasurable. Not to say that I have clients from time to time that are just super extra, especially living here in Los Angeles. But when you're working with people that you really connect with, it doesn't feel like work, right? You're hanging out with friends. And I think that's super important. And then the last one here, 3, is like, what makes you unique? We talked about this at the beginning. I just want to reinforce that again, is really knowing your story and what are tools that you have that no other broker may have in your part of town, right? What are certain educations that you've taken, seminars, conferences, pieces of information that you can provide to clients so that could be your ace of spades. Like that's what's going to separate you from everyone else, that people are going to want to work with Sally. They don't want to work with anyone else but Sally because either she knows everything about that neighborhood or she's just amazing when it comes to video and technology and implementing that so that she can leverage her listings to a much broader market. And then a little exercise here at the bottom that I put here is, think about the risks that you've taken and what you got out of that journey, regardless of winning, and how do you want to be remembered for in your business and work your way backwards. So again, this goes back to creating that story. And then a lot of those things that you've done in the past, right? I think as we evolve as brands, as we evolve as agents, there's a lot of things we've had to do in the past in order to grow. How can we use those and integrate them into our business, into our marketing, into our videos to inspire others or attract like-minded people as buyers or sellers?
Love that.
All right.
Amy says, "Be you. Everybody else is taken."
Exactly. And look, and then I go to the next slide where it says, if you're trying to be authentic, you're doing it wrong, right? Pretty much exactly what she just said. So let's go to like authenticity. I think this is a big part, especially before you start creating video content. I think the biggest challenge for people when they start doing video is you look at yourself and you start picking yourself apart and processing how you sound and how you look. And then I've had people and clients or friends in the past, they change their voice. They'll do a certain angle where they feel like they look good or do a certain hairdo and that they might not even like, but to them, it's like, well, this is what everyone else is doing. This is how people talk. Hey, we talk like a radio guy. There's all different types of people, but I'm like, radio guy talks like radio guy because that's how he talks. Doesn't mean that that's how you have to talk. You have to find your own voice, right? And, in my book, Brand with Purpose, I talk about authenticity is what being authentic is being vulnerable, right? It's not easy. It's being vulnerable, which vulnerability then turns into courage. And courage is what gives you the power, right? And so before even doing your first video, I always tell people, look, you have to be good with oneself. You have to be true to who you are, how you sound like, how you look like, because that's at the end of the day, people, yes, are looking for a real estate person, but people are hiring you for you. People already know what you look like. People already know what you sound like. You know, it baffles me sometimes. And again, I've done this in the past because I've nitpicked myself. And still to this day, sometimes you got to stop that like chatting monkey in your mind saying, the video isn't about me. It's not about how I look. It's about the value that I have to add to someone else, including this presentation. I always say a little prayer. I'm like, hey, God, like, I hope that whatever I say today really lands with people. It's not about, you know, me and the stuff that I've done and why I've been so successful. It doesn't matter. You don't care about that. You care about that there's something that I'm going to say that is going to help you in your business and take your business to the next level. So just a little bit of authenticity. You know, when you're putting out video content and when you're putting out content, period, good question to ask is your brand representing all of you or just a little piece, right? Are you showing people everything, or is there certain things that you're holding back because I don't know what they're going to think of me? They might judge me. My parents might not like this, right? Does your mind go there? If not, how can you expand to really showcase that? I said it before and I'll say it again. You know, it's all about that human contact. It's all about that human contact. And the thing with videos that I think that separate really good videos from videos that I think still need some work is the videos that are really good are people that when you see them on that video and then you meet them in person, it's the exact same person. Like, it's like, oh my God, I feel like I know you. And yeah, this is you. And then there's other times, right? Like, for example, actors, right? We see a certain character that they play on screen. And then when we meet them in person, we're a little let down because it's not the person we thought they were. And so when creating content and when creating videos, it's got to be you. You know, I used to like hold back a lot because I'm like, oh, I got to be super professional. And like, Aaron's not here, but you know, it's like, I got to wear the tie and the coat and the thing and, you know, do a certain thing. And so that people can respect me. And yeah, that's all part of building a brand. You know, you have your exterior brand and how you want to project to the world and what you want to show. But at the end of the day, it's hard being someone else. I've done it. It didn't work. It's easier being yourself and putting yourself out there because that's what people really connect with. And an exercise here that I have for all of you guys is really creating a brand mission statement. I've done it for my business. I have it for my business life and for my personal life. And a couple of questions. And if you Google brand mission statement or personal mission statement, this goes in line with the brand pillars. This is what kind of tells people, this is who you are. These are my principles. These are my values. These are my clients. This is what I'm willing to do for my clients. Because that statement is what keeps you in line with who you are as a company, who you are as a brand. I nowhere near on my mission statement do I have anything about money or anything about fame or attention. It's all about, because if I did, then when I take on certain clients, I'm like, oh, well, I'd rather work with that client because it's more commission, or I'd rather do this because it's going to get me more attention. I'd rather do that conference because, you know, there's a lot more people coming. If it's not in line with that mission statement of who I am as a person or who I am as a company, I just won't do it. Even if it's more money, I know that sounds crazy. I just won't do it because it's not in line with who I am. It is breaking from the authenticity of who is Ivan, because that's when people start selling themselves, right? They say, oh, he's a sellout. Oh, he did this, he did that. Because you're not in line with who you are as an authentic brand, as a person, as a value system.
Awesome.
Sorry,
I want to read. Yeah, that's perfect. I want to read a couple comments here. So I got one that said from Charnel. See, that would not be me. No suits, no pantyhose. I'm a jeans and t-shirt girl. Comfort.
Hey, no pantyhose either here.
Hang in to show 10 houses to 3 clients in a day. Would not be able to do that in pantyhose and 3-inch heels. Will this prevent me from migrating into luxury because I'm not going to dress up like that into the office?
No, absolutely not. Because I know agents in Malibu and Orange County who are in flip-flops, shorts. It doesn't matter, right? There's certain people that will work with you because of that. And they're like, oh, I like her. She's chill. She's cool. She's kind of like me. Because I have a lot of clients with a lot of money, and you wouldn't think that, right? They actually show up. One time I thought one of my new clients was homeless. I didn't know it was my new client who's showing up to my door. So it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're going to connect and attract certain people. Are there certain people that won't work with you because of that? Yeah, they won't. But it's, again, you probably don't want to work with them anyways because you're not going to see eye to eye on a lot of things. And that's going to make any transaction a nightmare. And so, yeah, I think you're A-okay with that.
Awesome. And then I have Chris Eckert on, who has a question about software editing programs. And funny, I want to share a little branding story about Christopher Eckert. He's a client who's like a raving fan and is doing all the social media stuff that we speak about, implementing everything. And he's going to family reunion, decided to do a video documentary of his drive from his office all the way to the event, which is a pretty long drive. And he's going to stop at some offices along the way. And he part of his branding is he has a Lambo, so he's the Lambo guy. And on his Lambo, he's got all his social media handles. And then he just put our logo on his car, Real Greater, and his digital business card. And like, it's part of his branding now. So like everywhere he goes, he's got his socials on there, and he's got like all of this marketing on his car. Thought that was pretty cool. And the fact that he's documenting it. So I'd love to answer his question. What type of software editing program do you use for your videos, and what do you recommend?
Yeah, so good question. So there's two types of videos that I do. There are the produced videos, which I shoot them every 3 months. We compile everything together. I'm actually shooting next week for the month of March, April, and May. The content has already been put together, all of the materials, and where we are shooting this material. I don't do any of the editing for that myself because it's not worth my time. I have an editing guy who I've been working with who's very affordable. He does about a month of videos for me, which are comprised of 4 videos, long form, horizontal, 1 minute each, for like $400. So for me, it's better my time spent just knowing what the information is and being able to relate it correctly to my audience. Now there's the other stuff that I just do on the fly that are still in line with my pillars, and then I edit on my phone. I use very simple. I've been using iMovie and Cut for the longest time. I don't get crazy with graphics. I make sure that there's subtitles. But a lot of the editing that I do has always been in the social media platforms themselves, because those social media platforms don't like it when you use other stuff. They don't. They're jealous. They're very jealous. And so if you edit and do the things that you need to do yourself on the actual apps themselves, they perform a lot better. And so that's what I tend to do. I do one produced video that gets put out once a week through all social media channels. And then I do 2 to 3 very on the fly, but intentional and part of my brand pillars that then I edit on Cut or iMovie, or if they're super easy, if it's just like a one kind of cut type of thing, I just do it on the actual platform itself.
That's great. And I'll share the same thing. Like I pay $150 per video. And I take a 1 hour video, I turn that into a 1 minute teaser video with B-roll, like with other video included. I get a TikTok post out of it. I get an Instagram post. I get a Facebook post, all that for $150. So yeah, I mean, like, okay, I'm at 600, Ivan's at 400, just to give you a range. Like this stuff is possible at low cost. A lot of it can be found on Fiverr. You can find editors all over the place, but don't let that get in the way for you.
Exactly. And if it's something that you really enjoy doing and you really enjoy editing and you want to get better at it, by all means, right? There's so many different tools out there that you can use. Like Photoshop has a lot, Adobe has some incredible software, but that takes, some really a good time investment. Where I personally would rather do it, I would rather prospect or do a lot of client relationship lunches, dinners, coffees, and be in front of my clients and being in front of a computer editing for hours. But again, that's just me.
Awesome. And then is that cut for Android or cut for iPhone, or what cut is that?
I don't have an Android, but it's on iPhone, and it's like I have the free version because again, I don't go very crazy on graphics and all of that color correction. I think once the personalized videos that I do, the ones that are highly produced, already have all that. I want to show people a little bit more of like the raw stuff, so I don't really go crazy on that. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So personalizing video. Only you can be you, and that's your superpower. So Aaron had brought this up before, and years ago, I asked a bunch of colleagues, and I said, "Why are you not doing video?" For me, it's what really blew up my business. A was having the brand, that infrastructure, and B was using video to leverage that brand across different platforms and to really separate myself from all the other brokers in my community. And that's what I did 14 years ago when there was no one else doing it other than one other agent at a different firm. Now, these are the 3 top reasons of why people don't do video. All right, we talked about it. You don't like what you look like on screen. You don't like how you sound. And then there's the plain fear, right? What are people going to say? What if people don't watch it? Like all these what ifs. And so for the first 2, I do have a tip for you, which is something I did many, many years ago with a coach. And he said, look, and this was before we had the iPhones, I want you to record yourself at the end of every day for 30 days. And I want you to do a daily video diary. Just talk to the camera, not away from the camera. Make sure that you're looking at the lens and talk to it like you're talking to yourself. Hey, this was my day. This is what I had for breakfast. And then I, played with the dog. I went out with the family. And then what I want you to do is keep them to about a minute. I want you to watch it 3 times. And I remember the first time I watched it, it was heart-wrenching just because it's like, oh, my voice is so high-pitched and I hate how I look and I'm not looking at the camera. And so there was, again, the fear, the judgment, right? The judgment monster is coming in saying like, oh, you don't look good on camera. Like you shouldn't do it anymore. And so all this like, personalized judgment feedback from my subconscious was telling me I should stop doing it. And the more and more I did it, as the weeks went by, I started to realize I was becoming more comfortable with it. I was becoming more comfortable with what I looked like, what I sounded like, and that judgment monster in my head that was saying, you don't know what you're saying, you didn't even finish that sentence, or you said that word incorrectly, it slowly started going away. And what I realized was just like everything else, right? Everything else it takes time, right? It takes time to learn something. It takes time to get good at it. Just like tennis, just like cooking, just like learning a new musical instrument, doing videos and being able to do them right is pretty much, it takes work. It takes work. It takes patience. It takes training, and it takes a lot of different mistakes. There's a lot of great people who could just shoot it and they just love being on camera and they throw it out and it's great, right? But most of the world, we are not like that, right? We have to kind of work at it and get good at it and really practice over and over and over again. And so putting together these video diaries, I think would be incredibly beneficial to really kind of get your feet wet if you're not doing it. Obviously, if you've been doing this for a while, this really wouldn't pertain to you. But, it's still, I think NAR put out a report where it said that still 89% of real estate agents aren't using video. That's a lot. That's a lot of people that are still not using video. And their number one thing is fear. They're just afraid to do it. And in this market, and as technology continues, we have to get out of that fear, because that is no longer, well, you can add that as part of your marketing. It's your marketing. You are your marketing. right? If one of my doctors wasn't using the latest and greatest in technology, you could bet yourself I'm going to a different doctor, because we're all, I told one of my agents, I said, you don't want to create, do some real estate malpractice by not doing videos for your sellers and for your buyers too. If you're looking for a certain property, you could create a video and put it out there. You're committing real estate malpractice if you're not using it as part of your marketing these days.
I like that.
You can use that one
Practice,
anytime.
yeah. It's like, I mean, that's the truth. I mean, you have a moral obligation to be in marketing as a realtor, right? And I mean,
Exactly.
a lot of people were scared when they first got into real estate. Oh, I got to go door knock. I mean, what's easier than door knocking? Just making a video and go door knock on somebody's email box, right? Or go door knock on their social media.
Put it on Facebook. Pay for some advertising. I mean, if there's all these different ways, like Facebook Business Manager and the Google Display Network, where you can get a little bit more targeted, not like you used to before. You get like literally nano targeted to a certain neighborhood. Now you can't do that anymore. They don't allow that, but there's still ways to reach a big amount, a group of people, without having to door knock, or still adding it as part of your door knocking and geo farming, adding that video component to a specific area. Again, it's before you could get to the block. Now you can't do that. You have to do a much wider space. Okay, I'm gonna have to rush through all of these. I practiced it. I thought it was about an hour, but I guess I'm
All my interruptions, though, you know.
No, it's good. Okay, so the next part is expanding your brand. I think all of us want to build a team, right? Everyone in my office is like, I got to build a team, and it's all about the numbers, and the more people you get, right? We want to do those cool photos for our websites and for our flyers with all of our all of our buyers agents and listing professionals. And I've told people, be very, very mindful and very careful as we evolve and the teams evolve in the whole real estate world. Is that, hiring the wrong person for your team, for your brand, a bad apple can really create a lot of damage. I'm living experience of this, as I hired someone who I thought was a great fit for the team. And it ended up being a big mistake. And again, you learn through mistakes, right? And I didn't realize, I was like, wow, each team member is an extension of my brand. It's an extension of who you are as a company. And so here are a couple of things that I thought would be very beneficial, just to kind of really ask yourself before you hire the next team member for your team is, really knowing their value system. One good thing that I thought moving forward, this was 2 years ago, I said, would I be comfortable putting this new agent in front of one of my best clients? Right? They don't have to know everything. They don't have to know all the knowledge, but do they have that, that value system of creating the best customer service for clients? Because I've had some new agents older clients of mine that I've had for 10, 12, 14 years said, wow, that new agent that you have, wow, he's going to be a good one. He's like, he did this for me and this for me. And so as long as you're hiring people that really help broaden your business brand and take your business to the next level, and not someone that's going to hinder it or can damage it. Because once you damage a brand, because let's say you hire an agent who goes out there, something happens, even though that agent did that, it wasn't them, it was you, because you hired that agent, right? You're the one who decided to put them on their team. And once you have, and I can do a whole presentation on this, once something bad has happened where it's tarnished your brand, it takes a lot of work to come back from that. Because especially in real estate, it's a small community. And now where, everything is digital, there's reviews, we have, there's so many different ways to source information and to leave our experiences online. It's hard to come back from that. You could come back from that. But I'd rather you not have to go through that experience than, be able to hire the right fit, not just because they're the best salesperson, but because they fit your value system. That's, I think, the most important. And I'm going to share this slide with you guys. This is like from my book is, there's a lot of assessments out there. Disc is one of them that I use heavily, and HOTS as well. Whenever I'm hiring a buyer's agent, an admin, a marketing person, and I can spend another hour describing which is best for what. This is in the book, and if you go on Google or YouTube, you can also find this as well. But just being able to not just hire the right person who has the right value system, or who you think would be a good fit for your team, but also someone who's going to be accommodating to, you don't want a replica of yourself. You want someone who's going to, I always tell people you're peanut butter to your jelly, right? You want something that's complementary to one another, and not something that's going to affect the way that you do business or how you really want to showcase your brand. All right, here we go. We're almost done. So collaborations and relationships, incredibly important for expanding your business brand. I put here is, never forget to take care of your clients and the people who make that happen. What systems can you create? So for collaborations and relationships with my brand, it's always key for me to make sure that my past clients, my past clients are people that I've worked with, people that know the brand, people who know how I work. Once the transaction is over, the transaction is not over. I always tell my clients, look, we know you just bought your home. We are done with the transaction, but I am here for the rest of your life. I am here to provide value anytime you're doing renovations. I'm here to, I put their bi-yearly CMAs. We create these marketing packages that go out to clients. They're beautiful binded folders with the cover, with the picture of their property, with what's going on in the community. Just like a financial advisor would do for their clients and reviewing their portfolio, I do that with my clients as well, right? And that just really builds the brand of, wow, Ivan's team works like my financial advisor and my lawyer and my CPA. They all work in line with the same level of professionalism. And so that alone gets me so many referrals, because my brand, I'm always about the highest excellence in customer service during and after, and making sure that my clients know that I'm there at all times. I put there a couple of other ideas, obviously client appreciation parties, phone calls. I mean, Alex, you just mentioned it's like hard to be on a phone call with one person, right? But sometimes it's a must-have, especially if these are clients who are referring you business, who are your biggest cheerleaders, who are your biggest advocates. A simple phone call and just checking in goes a long way. As I put there at the bottom, collaboration is key to building relationships and a strong audience. And I'm going to go over this slide. This is something Aaron was talking about. This has been very beneficial for my business, is really building out those business alliances, right? There's a couple of examples that I gave: CPAs, financial advisors, real estate attorneys, out of area agents. Those are huge. Those are relationships that, going to conferences, going to things like this, building those relationships with those agents is key. About one fifth of my business comes from other real estate agents. And these are agents that I've met at conferences, I've met at seminars. I've provided value to them, saying, hey, let me show you everything that I do for my clients. This is my selling process. This is my buying process. Feel free to use whatever you feel is necessary that would provide more value to your business. And it's always reciprocated. And people remember that, right? I'm building those collaborations with those agents by giving some value. Local businesses as well. In real estate, where it's a community, right? We're building a community. I think that's the most important thing. What local businesses can you come together with? I actually, one of my friends who's in my office, who has had a hell of an idea, his physician, they did like a kind of like a health fair, and he provided all the food and there was prizes, there was candy, there was the jumpy things for kids. And he killed it. He killed it because he then got in front of all of his physicians' clients in the Beverly Hills area, and his business is, let's just say, it's doing really well, right? He was able to adopt a new a new audience for his personal brand. And here's
Genius. That's
couple of
genius. Out of
examples.
the box, but so available for everybody.
Yeah, of course. Of course. In our business, we can't be dependent and we can't be independent. We have to be interdependent, right? In order to be successful, we need to be able to lead, but also be able to use other resources, which are people, places, and things, to be able to work together in order to make things happen. Because I mean, that's every major company that you know of. That's how they got to where they're at today. They didn't get there on their own. They were interdependent on other people, places, and things that got them to where they're at today.
Yeah, I just want to throw out an interesting statistic. It's like I heard that couples or even individuals know at least 5 to 10 realtors in their world, right?
Yeah,
So how come I'm not invited to a realtor party at least once a year?
exactly.
Like, or like a realtor event, or like a neighborhood party, or like a doctor's event, or whatever, but by a realtor. You
Yeah,
know,
a little barbecue in the backyard. I'm actually hosting dinners here every 2 weeks for 6 of my clients. I'm doing the cooking because I like to cook, and I'm setting it all up, and I'm creating a whole experience. I mean, I got the candles and the nice plates and everything you could imagine. And I just did it for the first time about 2 weeks ago. We did like the run to make sure everything was going to go smoothly, and then I can implement this every 2 weeks. I had the best time. I got to really connect with some clients of mine. One of them I haven't seen in like 4 years, but we jumped right back into our friendship. And it reminded me of why I worked with him, and vice versa. Because a week later, he was like, hey, like it just came out of nowhere where he did a group chat with one of his friends who's currently living in Cancun because of the pandemic and is moving back to LA and is looking to buy a house in West Hollywood. I didn't even ask for it. I didn't ask for any business. All of a sudden, it was this group chat with him and his friend and myself. And I have to honestly say it was because of the dinner. Top of mind,
100%.
right?
Question for you: do you email the bi-yearly CMA? Sheila had a question on that.
No. I print them out. We package them. There's a handwritten note. You know, is it easier to email them? Yeah, it is easier. Is it more, am I being more green if I did? Yeah, probably. But I want my clients to feel special. I want my clients to say, wow, this binded folder, which is nicely really binded, that we get from, it's like a binding store out here in Los Angeles. And we buy like 190 of these, 200. I think it's like 200 go out every year and every 6 months. And the numbers just keep increasing. And it's all about just it's something that they could touch, that they could put. It kind of looks like a coffee table book. I wish I had one with me. It's at my office. And they'll put it on their coffee table. And one, it keeps you top of mind. 2, it shows you that you were thinking about them. 3, if a friend asks for a referral or picks it up and says, oh, what's this? I mean, you've got to make it nice enough where people are going to really want to showcase it. I have friends who have medical practices. I have friends who are lawyers who've said, how did you do this? Who did these for you? These are an incredible idea. I want to do them for my clients. So they go a long way.
I love that.
All
And that's
right.
brand, that's part of your brand, right? I mean, that's
Exactly. It is part of my brand. And so the last thing, I know we have a couple of minutes, is it's the last, and I think the most important part is just investing in your brand. Because what worked last year might not work this year. Or what worked last year may need some tweaks depending on what's happening in the market, what's happening with technology, what buyer morale is, what seller morale is. You have to continually keep educating yourself, because in order for the brand to grow, it starts with you, right? If you are a group leader, if you are a team lead, if you are an agent that works for themselves, the more you can educate yourself on what's happening, what tools are out there, then the more you can provide more value to your clients, and the more referrals will come. Because like I said before, I use that doctor analogy, is that we can't keep doing things that we've been doing the way that we've been doing it for the last couple of years. I never do that. Every year, I always make it a plan to myself saying, how many conferences will I attend in 2023? How many courses will I take in 2023? I take a lot of courses, and they're all business courses, not just all real estate, because I want to be very well-rounded. And sometimes from taking these courses that have nothing to do with real estate, I get inspiration on things I can implement into real estate that no other agent is doing. So just there's a lot of university programs at Stanford, at local community colleges, courses online, podcasts, mastermind groups. I mean, the list goes on and on that I put here a couple of examples. And then the last thing is, your health, right? I think it's important. We can run ourselves dry, take all the courses you want, all the education you want, but if you don't have your health, you don't have nothing. So and I'll leave you guys with this is, knowledge is not power, execution is. So it's important to understand, and this is something I do at the end of every year, but this is an exercise you can do now, is just really figuring out like what personal weaknesses do you want to work on for your business in 2023, in your brand, in your videos. Are there things that you want to do that you want to get better at that you're not doing? What do you currently need to support your business? Right? It could be an admin. It could be someone who's a video editor to help you edit your videos. It could be an intern who can help you with TikTok, with Instagram, with Facebook. There's a lot of people looking for work right now. So a lot of kids out of college, hey, how can I integrate someone who really knows what's up on social media and really integrate that into my business and into my brand? Because like I said, creating videos is definitely the way of the future. It's the now. It's no longer part of the marketing. It's the marketing. But the most important part of all of this is figuring out, who are you? Who are you? What do you want? And who is the audience or clientele that you want to attract? Because at the end of the day, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, you want to make sure that you've built a legacy with your brand, that people will continue to use you, not just your clients, but your clients' kids, right? If you live that long, maybe your clients' kids, right? And to be able to just do that over and over again, and create a brand that people remember, right? A legacy. And here are a couple of resources. Like Alex had said, I wrote a book called Brand with Purpose. It became a national bestseller. And as of yesterday, I heard from my publisher, Macmillan, it's being translated in Hindi for India. It's being translated in Chinese for China. It's being translated in Spanish for Mexico. And so it's all the blueprint of what it takes to create a brand. Get on Amazon, Target, Barnes & Noble, Hudson Booksellers. And if you really want to get tightened with your video branding, then there's my course on my site, brandwith.com, Brand with Video, which was a course that Aaron and I actually put together. It took us 3 years to not just build the platform, but also build the content, so that way, if you're you want to figure out how to build a brand, how to use video to leverage it and really build out that blueprint, Brand with Video it's everything I've learned in the last 14 years.
These are amazing resources. We're actually gonna purchase a book and give it away for free. We're gonna gift it to somebody on this call. So I'm looking for you all. What was your biggest takeaway from Ivan's session here? The winner is gonna get his book. I also recommend you check out his resources, like his video course. It's huge. It's amazing. It'll make a difference for you.
And Alex, I also want to give away a course. It's a $4.99 value. I want to give one away too. So if you can pick someone and then you can connect us and we'll give them the username and password, I definitely want to do that as well.
That's sweet. Thank you. And Penny just said she just bought your book.
Thank you.
Action taker right there. All right. So let us know, what is your biggest takeaway from Ivan's session? Put it in the StreamYard, put it in the Zoom chat. Katarina, I'm going to bring her on for a second to choose the winner. Katarina, can I bring you on? Give me a nod if yes. I look like a nod. I'm going to take that as a nod.
Yes.
Awesome. So let's see. We got Crystal said pillars are like bumpers to help you stay in your lane. I love that. Francisco says, thank you, Ivan, for the key tools and resources to grow the brand. Greg says, OMG, so much. You are your superpower. Dare to be different. Be unique. Willingness to take risks. Sheila says, knowledge is not power. Execution is. Camilo says, authenticity is key. Creating a content plan for many months. Knowledge is not power. Execution is. We got another one with that. Who am I? Just tell my story. Be authentic. 30-day video diary. They're flying in the responses, Katerina. You better choose somebody soon.
Ooh,
Got a
I'll
lot.
choose one and you can choose one, okay?
All right, you got it.
Okay, I'm gonna choose Mary Pagel, Pagel,
And this is for the book or the course?
the book.
All right.
You get to pick the course, Alex.
You got it. So Mary, email Katerina at RealGrader and put book in the subject line. We'll make sure we send that out to you. And let's choose the next winner. I'm gonna choose Charnel. She's been very active. So much to say. I love the picture with you sitting in the middle of the street, and not to fear video, and practice makes perfect, and be my authentic self. I think Charnel is ready to take on video.
Congratulations.
So let's launch her into the course.
Awesome.
Charnel, just make sure you message Katerina at realgrader.com. That's Caterina at realgrader.com. Put in course, put in your name, your email, your phone number, and we'll have all the information to get you rocking and rolling. Ivan, thank you so much for being here. I learned a lot. I told Katerina we got to nail our brand pillars, categories, and sub-pillars, break that down for us. I did it a while ago, but I haven't done it recently, and I need to get back in my lane there. But this was great. I love Penny's comment too. Vulnerability, humanity, integrity, and being real. Thank you so much. So this landed for sure. I can see the comments. Thank you, Ivan, for what you do. Thanks for your generosity and for showing up on video, showing up here. And let's keep rocking and inspire more people together.
Awesome. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned tonight. Katerina's going to post the homework assignment. Just to give you a clue, like what you should be working on is based on Aaron's course. What is your marketing plan? What is the who are you addressing? What is the frequency? What is the style? What are your brand pillars? What are your brand sub pillars? That's Ivan and Aaron's homework for you there. What are you going to do about video marketing? Do you have a plan of action? Are you going to take it on? These are just some of the things that'll be in the homework for tonight. Please take action on this stuff. Let us know your feedback. Join the group on Facebook. Join the community number. Katerina, what else do you want to tell everybody? We got a lot of feedback. I just want to share yesterday's homework. We had 37 people actually complete the homework. We had tons of people start the homework, but we're looking for those that are taking on the action. So go for it, do the homework, and let's rock. Katerina, anything to share? There you go.
No.
You're muted.
No. Let's see. There was a question. When will the video be posted? The recording from today I'll post before 5 p.m. with the homework today.
Perfect.
For Fred.
And I mean, the live videos are there right now. I think they stay up, don't they?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go
Fred.
yeah. Go ahead.
Go in the Facebook group to the videos or media folder, and that's where they will be stored.
Awesome. And tomorrow is day 3. Can't believe it's already day 3 tomorrow. But tomorrow's day 3. We're going to be going over social media and your database. We're going to be looking at all the different social media platforms, what kind of goals you should be setting. Some of you already have those goals in mind. We're going to be talking about your database with Gabe Cordova, talking about the value of your time. You're all going to learn, how much money you make per hour as a realtor. It was an interesting thing that Gabe did. I can't wait for you to see that. And also how you can leverage your database for LinkedIn, how to leverage your database for social media. Every day we're going 2 hours. Originally, we're going to do 1 hour, but we just had such amazing speakers that we expanded it for 2 hours. Penny says, awesome. I love it. You can always watch the recording, tune in for the homework, provide your homework, join for the giveaways. I still have to give away a BombBomb account. I still have to give away another influencer plan, more digital business cards, .real estate domains, and Ben's package on Thursday is going to be huge. That's a $2,500 value. If you want the starter kit, you can get the starter kit at influencerstarterkit.com. And if you want VIP access to have the recordings forever and have access to special questions, you can get influencervip.com. Irina says,
And
thank you very much. Go ahead, Katerina.
I don't know if you said it, but Tristan's giving away
Oh, yeah.
the SocialCon ticket.
Correct. And so on Friday, we have Tristan Ahumada coming in to talk about social media. He's giving away a ticket to his large event in April. It's a 2-day event. That's going to be sweet. So a lot of people saying so much great information. I have to go through it again and again. Thank you. This is so awesome. Thank you very much. Great information. Need help with login. Just sent a support ticket. No problem. That's Ann Darer, Katerina, to take care of her. Ann Darer,
Okay.
D-A-R-E-R. Thank you, everybody. This is inspiring for me. This is fun. I love bringing on the speakers. I love being able to provide all this information for all of you. And at the end of the day, please let us know what you implement, what you take action on. I want to look back in a year from now and say, yeah, Alex, that influencer challenge got me moving and grooving, and it made a difference for my business. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Katerina.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Record.